When we last left our humble settlement, we had achieved something remarkable. What began as a collection of makeshift shelters has transformed into a proper medieval community. The church bells now ring across our lands, and our manor house stands as a symbol of growing authority, and most importantly, we've reached that crucial milestone. Our settlement has grown to a large village. But, as any seasoned lord knows, progress comes with a price. Our villagers, once content with basic shelter and simple fare, now have, shall we say, more refined tastes. They demand quality goods, better clothing, finer foods, and ale, the luxuries that come with civilization. And frankly, our current industries simply aren't cutting it anymore. This is the crossroads every growing settlement faces. We've outgrown our humble beginnings, but we haven't yet built the economic foundation to sustain our new ambitions. We need industry, real industry, that can generate the wealth required to keep our increasingly sophisticated population happy and fed. Time, however, is not on our side. Our scouts bring word that raiders are massing in the distance, drawn like vultures to our prosperity. They smell opportunity in our success, and they're coming to claim what we've worked so hard to build. But we won't simply hunker down and wait. No, today we expand. We're pushing into a second region, not just for the resources, but for the trade opportunities and treasury revenue that will fund our industrial ambitions. It's ambitious, perhaps even risky, but fortune favors the bold. The question isn't whether we can afford to expand, it's whether we can afford not to. So let's get to work. And welcome to part 2 of the Manor Lords Beginner's Guide. At the end of part 1, we had established our town. We have 20 villagers, or 20 families, a total of 65 villagers. We got the start of our industry here with a rich iron deposit and the industry around it to support that. Now I've overbuilt this a little bit just so that we'll be able to, kind of map out this central complex that will eventually become an area that the Lord of the Manor will occupy. So we got a couple of small trees. These will grow in throughout the next bit. I'm going to go ahead and pause things as we survey what's been done. So we have our trade post, and right now there's not much trade that's actually happening. What we are exporting is within our crafting materials. We're exporting iron slabs at 4 gold per unit, and doing okay with that. Now, I'm actually going to turn that off. We got 103 regional wealth, and yeah, we're managing through that. We are potentially going to look at exporting tools, and then eventually iron parts, which will be part of the more expensive trades. So that will be a very efficient way for us to generate revenue, and we'll manage a few folks that will be working specifically on that within our blacksmiths. We have these 4 Burgage plots that are currently unoccupied. Once we get villagers in there, we'll go ahead and upgrade those to allow our blacksmiths, a joinery, and a bowyer shop kind of centralized here around our mining industry. We notice we have 151 days for the raiders to attack, and we have a militia. We don't really have any way to increase our spears or large shields yet. That's going to rely on these Burgage plots that will be our armaments. And we have our development. We're at the large village. We're not quite up to the small town stage yet. We need 3 level 3 Burgage plots, and that's going to require a few things. So on our level 2 Burgage plots, they want a tavern that's supplying ale. We need a small stone church. Right now we just have a wooden church. And they also need a source of 2nd level clothing. So that's going to be shoes, clothes, cloaks, any of those types of materials. Now, we have a few other areas here. We've got our charcoal kiln, our woodcutter's lodge. We are looking at a hunting camp down this direction, which is currently unstaffed. And then further down we have a couple of large orchards that we have developed into. For our development points, we've gone with orchardry, as you saw. We also went with the trade logistics, so the cost of establishing a new trade route is halved. We may eventually look at better deals in order to reduce our import costs, but right now, we know we want the deep mining perk after the charcoal burning, and we have a couple other options that we might explore into. The advanced pond keeping would be a great one since we do have a shoal of fish. This would allow year-round fishing and increase our capacity significantly if we have a food shortage. That could help. We also, with the orchards, I like the natural affinity with the apiary doing beekeeping there. But, again, we get deep mining if we have to go with the better deals for the trade import fees. That might preempt that. I may opt for more food with the pond keeping and also the apiary for the honey, rather than the better deals, just to see. I know we're going to have some import fees, but a lot of trade that we're going to be doing in the future will be within other regions that will be under our control eventually. We do have 350 treasury wealth available right now. And if we look, we've got a 64% positive approval rating. So we're going to start taxing at kind of a moderate 5%. There is a 3% approval loss every month. We're kind of outgrowing that right now with market food variety, clothing variety, and our level of church. So we'll manage. We'll manage. A couple other things. We are in the October, kind of fall season. So, yeah, autumn, there's harvesting, plowing, sowing crops. We may actually have some of our apples already, not a great supply. And we might look at getting another apple orchard established down this way once we do a little bit of logging. Don't want to waste any of these resources if we don't have to. And, yeah, kind of reshaping some of the region to our desires. So first things we need to do is we're going to need to just had a new townsperson move in. We have 4 available living spaces, and those are these 4 Burgage plots here. Let's go ahead, and we've got 2 people on a sign. We'll make sure that granary gets our highest priority since that will support our apples here. And we got a well, a lot of great opportunities. And a couple of things we do need. I know we're going to need to get that clay deposit to upgrade our stone church. So we need planks and we need roof tiles. So that's a clay deposit. That is roof tiles. So we'll need to put down a mine. And we see currently our logging, timber, and planks are just pretty limited. So we'll need to manage that. We have our logging camp back here, and it's kind of restricted in this area. I'm going to just throw it out there that I probably want to have them start working over this way. If they can clear up some of the trees that are in this central area, we'll have a great opportunity to really build out this and urbanize along that road. One other aspect, I know we're a little close on the roadways right here. So I'm going to build a little bit more space around and potentially clear this road out. So if we remove that, how far back does it go? Yeah, it's all right. So connecting it with each of these nodes here ensures that it snaps properly, and we just connect right across like that. Wonderful. Okay, so that road is rebuilt, and I do like the idea of this. It can start from here and kind of move in. And if we do a wider road down this way, that will help break up some of the core spaces along the village that right now are kind of bulking up. If we have a little bit larger road, that might make more sense, seem a little bit more natural. So while they're doing that, let's do some cosmetic work. On the logistics, I'm going to just place a marketplace along this road at a couple of key points. Make that widen up that area. And building along the one road, making sure we got our snapping enabled. At least for the roadside construction. And then we'll turn off snapping to put these in. Okay. And demolishing once it's constructed. That widens the look of the road for specific areas. And then we can come back and just touch up a few here that are needing specific attention. Okay, just like that. Demolish each of those. And same over here. And we can keep the snapping on for this. Wonderful. Okay, so one side of the road, just about all the way out to there. And I'll do the same on the opposite side. And just get this set up so we've got a nice, thicker road that will manage into the village. I don't want to get rid of too many of the trees. I like having the tree cover behind. And if we go from here, just expanding a few. Okay. Patching little sections in. It's better to do this than one big long section just to make sure you're properly snapping. And it addresses the the curvature of the roads as you're working. All the way back into the corner. And we have ourselves a nice, what should be a wider road that will make a really great visual element. As these buildings start to upgrade, we will have some struggles with that. So, going through and just demolishing, and we'll put some buildings along the inside here. I think there's an opportunity for another vegetable garden plot in between. And we are going to look at expanding our logging industry a little further south. So we're at 10 timber, 22 planks. Go ahead and make sure the saw pit, we're going to move this up to 20 timber now, since we are going to be doing some work with it. We have 9 months of food, 13 months of fuel. We see we've got firewood and charcoal in excess, so good amounts. Nobody's working that woodcutter's lodge, so I'll pull them off of the charcoal kiln. Actually, I'll pull them off the forester's hut right now. Get you guys set. Checking the marketplace as well as we get established. So we see the granary supply capacity. We're a little low. The storehouse capacity is also kind of yellow. We watch those and we see the food variety that they need. Mainly eggs, apples, fish. We have fuel, so a lot of charcoal being produced and used. With our 13 Burgage plots, clothing, we have leather being produced, which is great, and that's meeting the demands of the villagers. So, all good things there. And we are waiting until the end of October these Burgage plots to start developing. Now these are all level 2. We can. It looks like we got planks, and yeah, it's just going to cost us 2 lumber, 8 planks. And it'll generate some additional regional wealth for us. So let's go ahead and upgrade each of these to level 2 as they need it. Keeping one person unassigned to let them manage. Okay. One other area. I know that we've got our wild animals down this direction. They're kind of being preserved pretty well. I know that we're going to want to do some logging here. That might be a more permanent logging region right here. So we'll have a forester's hut that we'll place down this direction. Carrying over this, I'll say this side road. More or less in through the trees, but not exactly along there. We'll keep what would be kind of a natural border there. This is all going to get kind of logged out to begin with. And we'll carry this along, probably just tying in right behind the woodcutter's lodge. That might make sense. They would have a little branching road that connects across there. Okay. Little access in between. So we see a logging camp. It's probably too big to fit right there. We can put it back on the corner here. And there's an opportunity for a roadside hitching post, which we'll absolutely take advantage of. Okay, that, and then we're gonna have a forester's hut right across from there. Probably a little closer there. Where we'll take a look at a storehouse right on the roadway. And the saw pit. So we'll get the logs in. We'll do the sawing of the logs right next to the storehouse. Might put that down by the water. We'll see. And then the forester's hut will go right next to that. So we'll have a nice area here that we'll be able to start expanding our wood production. Because we're already getting iron ore and some iron slabs. As we get more people to work that, we're going to be able to manage that a lot better. As far as our treasury, we have 350 treasury wealth and 690 influence. For the regions that are claimed right now, we have here Leonek, which has the iron deposit and the rich shoal of fish. We have Earlhart next to it with wild berries, and then it's actually a fertile land, so only one of the deposits shows as rich. Great farmland, and honestly, like the region itself, a lot of wide open spaces that we would be able to develop into very easily. Obviously, barley being a critical one for ale, emmer just being food production, and flax for some clothing production. So good options there. I do want to probably move that wild animal deposit if I can get it. If I can convince it to migrate over this direction near the wild berries, that would be great. I don't want to have to do logging over there, but I will probably log out everything over this way, and maybe even back this direction too. The unclaimed area up here, this is next on our goals. That's Leuter Flucht, with clay deposit of 2100 and a salt deposit of 1600, both rich deposits. We can do the rich deposits, kind of exploiting those. This would be a great opportunity for a trade region, and some good flexibility with the options that will be provided. Finally, the region that's been claimed by the Baron, it's got a wild animal deposit and a rich stone deposit, as well as having a shoal of fish, clay, and iron. So, not a whole lot we're missing out on there, but we do want to look at expanding up this direction. So this region, Leuter Flucht, I have left unclaimed on purpose, because in the Restoring the Peace mode, bandits will appear kind of at random in any unclaimed regions, but if there's only one unclaimed region, they're going to always land there anyways. So we have some regional treasury we can start spending with 118 days left until the raiders arrive. We know that a mercenary band is going to cost us, maybe 150, the Ravenous Vultures at 110 here. They could arrive in Earlhart or Leonek, which are most certainly going to end up on the south end here. I wouldn't mind having my retinue go take care of those bandits, so let's go open up our retinue and customize those. Now, we did have one member join that Burgage plot. We'll upgrade that to level 2 right away so that they can start working on being getting into blacksmithing. So for our retinue, we can rally them or we can customize. We're gonna hire a few more men at arms. Okay, so I go down to about 150. I'll get 6, 7, 8, 9. So out of our 9 members there, we'll go ahead. We'll recruit a 10th, just so that we can have not quite the balanced numbers. We'll need to watch out for that. But the retinue here, they will be a lot more effective than just a regular militia, and we can probably go have them act in that region. And I'll keep the retinue. I'm assigning the hotkey number 1. We'll rally them here, and I will deploy them up into that region just so that we're right there ready anytime a bandit starts. We get a bandit camp that pops in. They should be right there, and we'll just wait for the next couple of months to see if we do have raiders that come in on the north side. It might also be helpful to have somebody there. So we'll have you guys just camp along the side of the lake. Okay, back to our town center. We see there's some generic goods. That's our that was our stonecutter's camp that's been occupied. I do have this livestock trading post that we have not started doing anything with yet, and we'll see. If we end up doing trade, we might trade livestock in. For now, at least. I'll just make sure that's paused. We don't have to worry about it. We only have 4 oxen, so it makes sense we would try and get a few more. And we see our planks are being used up as quickly as they are produced. So we'll just let some of the construction manage. The hitching post is done. The storehouse. Now we have our logging camp. And I'm going to set the work area here. Even though I built it here, I might have them... yeah, we'll just run this region. So, holding control and expanding that, I want to make sure that we don't branch over the roadway or too far into the wild animal herd. So, a region like that, we'll just take over this corner and let that manage. I'm going to assign 2 people there, and I'm going to pull 1 person off of the logging camp up here. So, they should be able to start working that direction. And working through some other... The logging pit there. Might be a little soggy, we'll see. But, yeah, good storehouse accessible. Let's manage this. So for the storehouse, I just want to have planks. And we could have firewood and charcoal here. That'll manage properly. We're going to take all the military equipment out. And we'll just, yeah, we'll leave it at that. Don't overwhelm our storage in this region. We see we've got a granary over here at the orchards. Now, the orchards take a couple of years to ramp up their production. We should be in good shape there. All right. Let's see, we're getting some sausages, some meat, some apples. And we got our level 2 Burgage plot complete. So we want to set up a blacksmith. That's going to require some planks. And we can probably do that now. Okay. And right away, we want to make sure we're watching that. Okay, not enough construction materials. Ooh. Okay, well. Looks like converting that. It's kind of switched out. Okay, we have our storehouse here. That requires an upgrade. We're not going to use the planks just yet. Another upgrade here. Put that to level 2. And these will be, I think we'll do a blacksmith and a joiner's shop. And then we'll have a blacksmith and a bowyer. Just since that's kind of the priority we need to bring things in at. Got 26 iron ore, 90 iron slabs, so we should be able to do just about everything we need. It's 80 days until the raiders attack. And all we have right now is our spear militia. That's going to need spears and large shields. Those are very plank heavy, so we'll watch our production. Timber's looking better, as long as we aren't overspending ourselves. Let's go ahead and we'll set up the joiner's workshop there. And let's make sure, as we were talking about it, got some sidearms. Let's get more spears. So let's set them to producing spears. That takes 1 iron slab and 1 plank per spear. And then the joiner's shop will do the other weaponry. We'll do the large shields to make sure we can keep our spear militias going. Set that as the highest priority. See here in December, 73 days away. So it'll be a little bit of a race for time. We'll be equally matched versus one of the companies, but need to work pretty hard at that. Okay. As they are just wrapping up production. And right away, right into the large shields. Okay. So that should help a lot with our outfitting. We already have 21 spears, 18 of our large shields. We get to the point we max out our first retinue, and then we'll set up a second one with our first militia. We'll set up a second one once we have the equipment. There's also helms and gambesons that they could use to improve themselves, and those might be good options in the future once we have some trade and export managed. I'll upgrade these to level 2. Some nice burgage plots there, and also we'll just, with the refitting of the roads, we connected a few or disconnected. And seeing as this trading post, we'll actually, rather than worry about it, I'll get those supplies back into circulation. And we will run this large road. I'm just going to let it parallel across there. So, okay. I could build that out while we wait. Do some cosmetic stuff while you're just losing patience with the build progress. Developing a city is slow, and sometimes you got to find a pet project to work on. So, once again, just sections of road, bordering them with the marketplace to make sure that it's got the wider appearance up to a certain point. Okay, we see our granary supply is actually kind of limited. Let's see. New mercenary companies available. We've taxed at 5 gold there. I demolish the extra marketplaces now. We'll bring that large road down. This one here, paralleling as much as we can, and probably find a natural point to taper off. Like that. Okay. Another villager, so we'll put them in. We see we got timber, we got planks, plenty of opportunities here. Already looking good. We got 22 large shields, 28 spears. Those will be some of the first things we go to export. And just preparing the visual for a few more here. Couple of market stalls, and I don't mind the divots in the middle. Kind of helps solidify things. Okay. Gives it the feel of a nice, well-trafficked, like, 2-lane road. That is the one aspect I wish it was, one aspect I wish they had a little bit more of here in Manor Lords, is the ability to, like, widen roads and make these kind of a more permanent fixture to start. We only have one available living space, so I'm going to go set up some burgage plots. First, I know this corner, I want to have a double-sized plot, so we'll be able to put a vegetable garden in there. But that means I have some areas where we can set up for an interesting backdrop here. So that snapping point is enough. Here, when I go on the inside corner, I just need it deep enough for the backyard extension. And we'll taper it in like so. That'll make a good combo. And then run. We don't need all of them tapered like that.
Well, perhaps it was simply a bad bet.
But if we go here.
To time.
Okay. Looking okay. A little bit of an overhang. It doesn't need to be perfect, but yeah, down to about right here. Excellent. So, good amount of living spaces. And we'll put in that plot there. I'll line it up to the back of the previous. That works just great. So, a nice little keyhole behind. We'll have a vegetable garden, and we'll set that as our highest priority for the 2 available construction workers. Okay, we see. Oh, this one wants a level 2 upgrade. I'm going to upgrade all of the farms, the orchards, to let them manage the... they've got a little bit larger storehouse, local capacity, so their general storage fills up with those apples, and we want to give them a little bit more capacity for that. See our logging camp up here, they're working through. And already, continuing, 32 spears, 23 shields. And we'll get set up. We need to get some regional wealth started. Let's see, construction finished on these Burgage plots. Wonderful. So, one person there. We've got a storehouse. We have a saw pit. I can reassign the people from the saw pit right now, since they are on... I'll actually just demolish it. Make sure the same limitations, 20 timber and 60 planks. We'll probably put this up to 120. We might as well, since planks are going to be something we'll burn through very, very quickly. And construction finished here. So we have our blacksmith, a joiner shop, a burgage plot. Now we'll put them as our bowyer's workshop and let them work on some crossbows. Once we get those, I'm going to switch this over to iron parts for a bit. We'll let the rest catch up. We have some spears that are in excess already. 29 of 36. I love it. So, producing iron parts so that our bowyer shop can get right into working on crossbows. They require 2 planks each. And yeah, we're going to be just roaring through those. 2 planks and 2 iron parts. Once it's constructed. And that's just, you'll be able to see that recipe in some of the details. You know what, we're going to set this storehouse to also accept stone, since it will probably be the one to collect all of those supplies. Okay. So artisans are hard at work. We have reasonable sized militia. We'll keep working on those large shields. And get that up to the point we've got 1 fully outfitted spear militia. 29 days away. Okay, a new family started moving in, so we'll upgrade that right away. They will be converted to artisans as well. So we got our blacksmith, joiner, bowyer, and we'll do another blacksmith shop. See our trees maturing on the manor complex. Be very careful about how much plank we are going through. Just the necessary ones. Okay. We're going to set and pause a few of these. And what do we need to assign these folks? I need to get somebody in the granary. And just to keep construction activities a little limited. Yeah, we'll get the logging camp up. So, we have 2 available living spaces. The next folks that come in will help with the construction. Yeah, and set these as our highest priority to make sure they get managed quickly. And we got a food stall that just came in. That'll be great for the apples. No storage in there right now, but we'll configure that. Specific to apples, we might eventually do honey here. But their goal will just be to make sure a very quick access to this granary. To put some food away. Okay. 1 person running construction. Only 14 days left until the raiders arrive. And just like that. Okay, now into crossbows. see what they can do. And in March, we are going to run into that problem. So, 8 days left, and we'll see how much gets constructed. No storage space left for production. Oh, we got a bandit camp. With 6 days left for the raiders, the bandits arrive. And I gotta say, oh, another ruler's army was sighted. The Baron's already interested in coming this way, so we want to just lock him out of any potential combat, because that's what the influence the Baron uses. And the Baron will absolutely take over regions, claim them, and it makes it much more difficult on you. So we're 10 versus their 18.
Yes, sire.
Not sure how well we're gonna do. We could stand our ground to be a lot more defensive. Defense is doubled, but attack frequency is halved. I think that's the way we want to go. We've got 17 armor, 2 shield. We compare that, 3 armor, 1 shield. And they've only got 1 attack, so we could manage that way, and hopefully no risk of losing folks. Let's just see how this battle plays out. It's our 10 to their 18. Let's see, they've got a couple people running the second rows and some folks holding back to cheer on the fight. Okay. I do wish... Oh, we see their guys falling pretty aggressively. Their 18 is down to 15, 14, 13, 12, 11, 10, 8, 7, and they are broken. Excellent. So let's go ahead and we're going to ransack their camp. With 3 days left, we'll get those spoils. And honestly, I think I'm going to send that to my treasury just to see what we might need when the actual raiders arrive. If the raiders arrive and we're kind of stuck flat-footed, that'll be unfortunate. I can also, before the raid starts, I'm going to claim this region with influence. We just got enough to do that. And that's going to prevent the Baron from being able to use any influence he gets from this fight to start pressing that claim. Okay.
Yes, sire.
And let's send this to my treasury. Okay, 241. Not bad, not bad. Okay.
Yes, sire.
And we're not going to get there in 3 days. Let's manage these. Low on planks, which is unfortunate. New mercenary companies are available. Let's see where the band of raiders. Alright. They are here in Lannick. 18. So let's go ahead. We're going to rally our folks. We have 34. Have our retinue come down this way. 34 might be able to, but I think we're going to run into some other folks. So 2 for my militia. Here. And we can do the same. We could probably do the stand your ground if we wanted to. We've got better numbers. 5 armor, 8 shield, 1 attack. So pretty good shielding for us. And let's just kind of lined up out in the open.
Stand and fight.
Yeah, so there they are. We'll make them come to us. hopefully it's just the one. It might be multiples. We're not quite sure. They're hiding in the forest. But I'll make them come to me because I am bringing my my retinue in. We haven't made any crossbows yet, which is unfortunate. And if we spread out, we should be able to crash in on them. With our superior numbers. 34 versus their 18. They're already going down. One of them. All right. We beat him. Beat back that group. That is awesome. Okay. And we see here our Burgage plot. We'll upgrade this real quick. Get on the blacksmith's workshop. Got enough iron parts right now. Not seeing any others yet. Very fortunate. Keep our villagers set here. One aspect, there are going to be dead bodies. We have somebody assigned to the church that should be able to help bury them. And another band. We're gonna have them come towards us, and we will take them out. Okay, good thing we got the blacksmith and that joiner's shop put together. They can run this pretty well. With the stand your ground, we're just increasing our armory, increasing our defensive capabilities. It is slower to attack, but really with shield and armor, very hard to hit, and we'll preserve all of our villagers and all of our resources, the stuff that we're actually carrying right now. Excellent. Another the company beat. Let's see how far my retinue is. They're just about into range now. But we're hiding. Yeah, all the villagers hiding in the manor. Okay. I think we're good to go. I'm gonna go ahead and disband. So the raiders have been dealt with. We have one available person. Let's just look. 91 iron slab, 61 iron parts, no iron ore. We'll pull you off the bloomery, put you in. So we'll work through that iron slab. Some of the iron parts. The bowyer. Yeah, working on planks. Planks. I'm going to set up over here for another logging camp, I think. We'll go a roadway down in through the trees. And we'll just set our logging camp right on the edge here. And start using that for our tree setup. We're very close to being able to expand into a new region. Okay, so we've managed the bandits. We just need regional growth, and we're looking at level 3 as a requirement for a lot of our stuff. We have some regional wealth, so we can commit that. We've got chicken coops that are producing eggs. That'll be a good continued variety of food. And I think we'll really double down on that. There's no chance that we're going to be spending into our advanced skinning to double our meat production. We'll let other regions manage meat. So we'll put in the chicken coops. We see our granary. Might need one more person in a granary to help out. Let's see, we got 6 months of food. We assign one more person to the fisherman's hut. Could be good to go. Okay, cool. So I know they should be able to live. The next people to move in will move into our Burgage plot with the vegetable garden. And we'll do a few of those. I think our vegetable supply is okay. Also want vegetables and fish. See our logging camp. That work area, we'll just move up this way. Okay. Wonderful. They're set. Vegetable garden. Let them work that. And so we'll have some good food production options. So we'll expand that living space. Give a second person an option. Upgrade that to level 2. We'll set this to a chicken coop. And that's just to ensure that we always have eggs, since the only way to get eggs is through the chicken coop. It's a good food variety option, and yeah, it'll work well. Okay, we have one available living space. I'm going to wait to upgrade this to the level 2 Burgage plot until after the season. We see our fish. We are doing really, really well there. Could probably even go for a third person on the fisherman's hut just during the growing season. We see our fish food spoilage is high, so that's something we're going to need to watch out for. Okay, we are producing iron parts. Got shields and crossbows now, so let's get our next retinues designated. We only have 6 crossbows, but that's probably close to what we're going to be with our shields and spears. So I'm going to set up crossbow militia first. And we'll do another spear militia. Okay. Set these with a hotkey 2 and our crossbows with hotkey 3. So now we'll have some good options. We see it is now April. And 252 treasury. I think that is the perfect opportunity for us to start. Yeah, let's go beginning of the month. Once it rolls over, we'll set up, and instead of settling the farming region, we're gonna aim for our mining. We're gonna have the salt deposit, the clay deposit. These will be critical for our level 3 Burgage plots, and some food variety. And also, this region might not make the worst opportunity for some sheep breeding. So we're gonna wait till the end of the year rolls over. But let's go ahead. I'm gonna place some buildings that are gonna cause this animal habitat to migrate. My goal is I'm gonna try and get them up this direction somewhere, just so that they'll be closer to the shoal of fish there. So doing a couple. We can get it up on top of the plateau. That's probably all right. I can manage that for now. We'll do a little bit of our settlement here. The salt is really kind of the long term. We'll have, and there's kind of a natural growth area here. Let's do a few things. First, I'm gonna just preemptively place a few to keep it from migrating into. Actually, you know what? That's not a bad area if it ended up there. Try and get it forced somewhere else. So some preemptive placements. I could probably be okay with that. That combined with maybe a little small settlement to get the food up and running. Okay, so we can set a settlers camp. We're gonna just wait through the end of April once we roll into May officially. Okay, now we're in May. We'll place the settlers camp, and I'm gonna put it right here. Okay, if we have additional treasury, we can go for more starting surplus. So For 250 of our treasury, it's a basic supply, 20 bread, 20 firewood, 20 stone, 10 tools. You can double or triple the amount you spend for double or triple the amount that you would yield. So we're going to go with the basic starting supplies. Place them down. And I'm going to pause while we get this village set up. First, a logging camp. That should be something that's a very high priority. The logging is going to be what manages your first few burgage plots, and realistically, there's not a great place for us to put it. I know we're going to probably pull the trees from around here and maybe down into this region, so I'll just place the logging camp on this side of the trees. Get that ready to go. There's a roadway here that kind of hooks and goes down. I mean, talk about calves of steel. The villagers have been trading on that for ages. This is a nice little area, actually. I wouldn't mind having like a shrine or something if I could. Just slight distraction. Yeah, a shrine would look great there. I'm gonna set that in the future. That will establish our town once we're happy with the progress. I'm gonna take a road right here, kind of just border along the pond, and bring it back over, connecting right to there. And we see our animal herd migrating. And continue that road back like that. We'll set up for a few things. We want our hunting camp right near there. We also want to remove all of the other hunting camps. As I put them in there, the villagers want to keep it constructed, so we got to do a little cleanup before we let them go waste some time. So that hunting camp is good. They were already off there trying to manage the rest of the migration. Honestly, like something down in the gully here eventually might not be the worst. There's a small shrine already down in that corner. That's neat. We're doing this just since I know barley will be something we can import for pretty cheap, where clay roof tiles and other stuff, that will be another economic driver. And we'll let this region, they can generate some wealth right off the bat with our clay deposit. Okay, demolishing. Just about finished demolishing everything we placed for the migration enforcement. Okay, so our hunting camp, we've got a logging camp. This logging camp will just be temporary. And let this run down this direction. And we would probably go about right here. Another connection across there. Steep, but manageable. Okay. A couple other things. We will place a hitching post right there. Kind of in that tree line. The tree line for now. And we have 6. Let's also get our fisherman's hut here. And we'll put our granary right next to the fisherman's hut. Alright. And our storehouse. We'll put right next to that. It won't demolish any of those trees, so we'll be able to manage that pretty quickly. And we're going to make that a top priority. There. We're going to get food. And we need logs and timber. Okay. I'm going to set the work area here. Probably, yeah. Zoom in and out, just to try and get things set up. Don't encroach too much on the hunting area. But that region should be alright. And then we'll kind of work around more. Okay. Fisherman's hut. That's going to get our food taken care of. And let's just look here. We got a woodcutter's lodge. Set them in about the same area, actually, back this way. We could manage with that. Okay, they need to address some of their homelessness. It's a big concern. Order another ox. And as soon as we get up to our... We want to get 12 timber. Once we get that, we'll place down our first villagers. I do think they're going to probably start building along here. Maybe back this direction as well. Okay, and our hitching post, we'll relocate this. Probably put it right next to the storage. We can put it on the outside, or right there. Okay. I know one thing I want to do, since we've got this area kind of blocked off already. I'll run very small. Probably a roadway makes the most sense. Right here. So that'll help with some of the snapping. So we'll get our Burgage plots set up. Okay, so we got our oxen. And let's get some residences plopped down. So first, I'm going to do a double-sized Burgage plot in this corner. Will be plenty of space there. And with that, yeah, just big enough for the backyard extension on a single plot. We'll go here. That'll be 4. Those will look fine. Oh, I might actually even bring that down to just 2. Help a little bit more with the curvature around here. It's 3 if we bring it down. No, not. Now for backyard plots. Okay, now that's an interesting one. Let's run it this way instead. Do 2 there. So that's our 5 first Burgage plots. It'll clear out those. We'll need to put some supplies down. I'm going to remove our folks from there. We're going to put them in the storehouse and into the granary. Okay. Getting those guys set up. And bring up some of that as well. Okay. Supplies have all been moved. And they're starting to build.
This is heavier than it looks.
12 months of food. I have 20 firewood. Pull these people out right now. We'll let them It's perfectly fine to micromanage, especially in the early stages. So we got our folks moving in. 30 regional wealth, so we're going to leave that for, I think, a couple of vegetable gardens. The first one's going to take this corner. Okay, everybody's moved, and just checking the animals here. So that'll let us snap across. Great size on the plot there. And we'll set that as our highest priority. That'll be our first double plot that they'll be managing through. So I pulled the person off the hunting camp. It's not going to be producing anymore. And we'll go in here. We'll just remove that road. We'll have some places for the stables. Storehouse and the granary will get people back into. Because right now we have 12 months of food. And let's set, we can do a little marketplace actually. Where could we do a well? Right there. Wonderful. And under the logistics, a marketplace would fit right along that. So we'll go... Not quite. 12 market stalls right there. That's great. So that will be able to manage our storehouse, other stuff there. What did we need as far as our development? So we know we want the deep mining. That's really the only thing right now. We have, yeah, salt and clay. So if we start into the charcoal, that will be helpful. We can build a charcoal production area back this way at the top of the hill. Be nice and protected. We can get a forester's hut down this way as well. So let's go ahead and do that. Get the charcoal area set up. And that's going to look like this. We'll have the charcoal kiln right there. We have the, you know, woodcutter's lodge. Put the forester's hut just on the back side. It'll be kind of in the center. And we will even do a storehouse there once we got the timber for it. And we'll watch the wild animals, the shoal of fish. Let's do adjust the default value. So you want to be at about 2/3. So at 350, 360, we want to be at about 240 that we have our fishing limit. That way we don't overfish. That way it'll be a little bit more resilient against drought. But now with our marketplace, we've got a good supply of food. We got meat, bread, and fish, and that should keep people happy. We'll get some growth early. We can set some residences on the back here. Oh, wanted to set the minimum size. You know, kind of decreasing the number of plots, but getting, you know, double size plots. See if that does. You know, 3 is not bad. 2 there. That works out really nicely. Each will be a double size plot. And here, yeah, 2 singles like that. And we'll just take from the corner here.
Step right up and set.
Okay, and just go back as much as we need to right there. Leave an area for maybe some future development. Okay, the charcoal kiln is up. We have 10 months of fuel. That counts 62 firewood. So we're going to move you into the charcoal kiln. 1 firewood produces 2 charcoal, and we'll be great. So now let's go check our main region. How are we doing here? We have 4 available living spaces, or 4 available villagers. We're going to set up 1 person at this storehouse, so they'll be able to manage. Alright, we need the granary, so we'll bump that up. I'm also going to upgrade that large granary. And let's see, this blacksmith, they're working on spears. This blacksmith, they're working on iron parts. We have plenty of iron parts now. The joiner, still working on large shields. We're looking good as far as timber and planks go. So, it's amazing what happens when you stop messing with it. We're close to outfitting our full retinue here. Getting a few more, potentially. I do like the crossbow militia. They do a little bit better damage, but crossbows are a little bit more expensive to manage. And let's look at what else we've got. We've got leather. Probably time to get somebody back into the hunting camp for that wild animal deposit. And we have 4 available living spaces, so I'm going to put somebody to start on this logging. And just set their work area down this direction, more or less. Not too far into the manor area. They'd be upset to lose their trees. Okay. So just like that, now we're down to 53% approval in Leonic. So obviously not thrilled with how some stuff has gone down. Okay. And we have 139 regional wealth if we look at what our trade is doing. Looks like we're not set to trade anything yet. So, get our livestock. Order in a new horse. And for that crafting material, let's see. Iron parts. Got 165. Let's go ahead and order an export for that. And wonderful. We can export those for 6 per part. And our desired surplus, I'm going to call this 20, just so we don't run ourselves out for crossbow production. Having a few crossbow militia is actually pretty effective. But that's a great revenue generator. And let's look at what we're out of our iron slabs now, which is unfortunate. Let's get somebody working those. Got a surplus of iron ore. And we'll upgrade that one as well. Pull down to 1 person in the fishing hut. Let the other folks manage construction. And I do want to put 1 person into that forester's hut. Let that run. Log production is going to be crucial for us. And I'm just going to set the work area here. Come back around here where we got our clay. Let that happen. And with 4 available living spaces, we're okay for a bit. Okay. Back to Leuter Flucht. See, we got our forester's hut, we got the logging camp. They're doing their thing. Well, we are waiting. I'm half tempted if we wanted to do logging down this way. Probably closer on this side. Right near the hillside. Let's go get set up for that. Just have this be kind of a bulk logging, you know, timber, sawmill area. And if we have the saw right there, and we have the storehouse right next to it. It's just kind of the way it gets managed. Storehouses are easy to put down, just timber. The granaries require stone, which you are limited to. Bring them back there. Okay, that storehouse is full. All of our planks have been used up. Okay. Let's go ahead and put our chicken coops in. Okay, our woodcutter's lodge is still going strong. Forester's hut is good. 9 months of food, 18 months of fuel. Probably pull the person off the woodcutter's lodge to help manage some of the other construction activities. Okay. What I'd like to do here is we've got our roadway. We'll come across. And I want to bring a roadway up from down here. Now, it does need to connect directly into. I probably want to keep it a little wide. But something like this. And let's just see. One of the areas, just for cosmetics, I'd like to have a well in this region. Looking at right about the middle of where we would want the block to happen. And then running a road parallel to that. Okay. And as far in as we need it, and we'll just go from here. We can. We'll see how many Burgage plots that opens up. But a good crossroad. We'll keep this kind of open space in between. And just seeing how deep this needs to go to give us the backyard extensions. Probably better to start off on the other side. Move that road. Okay, snapping to the corner. And aligning just to the straight back. That's fine. Right. Maybe even if we wanted to, this road here, I want to give a little bit more space. Just since I know eventually I'm going to want to kind of wrap around. Right. Bring this up. So we're not interfering with the manor or any of its activities. Give them a little bit of space. Okay. Have that wrap around just like that. Okay, cool. And then that leaves some space around that we'll be able to, once we're all built out, we'll have a fence that kind of wraps around the whole thing. And can I remove that road? How much of that does... Yeah, cool. So hopefully that'll limit the access in and out. I might put a gate there, we'll see, and build across there. So let's go ahead and now we've got a buffer zone. Now let's get our Burgage plots in. If I go from here, it's too much, not enough. So the snapping has to go kind of right in between. And that'll be perfect, actually. Okay. Don't mind that. now we can go here and put in more or less the right size. Make sure everything's got a backyard plot. But we're gonna rotate this now. Just like that. Perfect. And I know the road is kind of designated that way, but you know, sometimes they didn't have a plan, you know? That'd be good. And about right there. We will bring a road back. Actually, once I get the mine built out. Okay. There's a little dead space behind there. Not bad, not bad. Go ahead and upgrade these all to level 2s. Make sure these have their chicken coops in the back. Keep that variety of food coming in. Okay. Cool, cool. So we have the start of what can be like a central corridor, and that'll go up more or less to the church. And we're getting some clearance from those logs. Okay, just like that. And we should have a nice central area. Looks down onto the manor. Villagers will come in and out. We'll have a gateway into the manor complex. Fencing along here, which will be a nice protective element. Okay. We've got some families to assign now. I know we want to ramp up our production. We got iron ore that's coming in. We need iron slabs. Okay. Plenty of iron ore to work with. And we'll set this as our highest priority for that. The bloomeries doing their work. We got 3 bloomeries going, both mines going. We're nowhere near needing the deep mine yet. But again, level 3 Burgage plots is going to be our real calling here. We could convert one of these if we had a regular supply. We do have some hides and some leather, but that'll go very quickly. So, but we're at 279 regional wealth, which isn't bad. Spending a lot of that. We do see we've got a forester's hut going. And enough residential space being built that they should be in good shape. Go ahead and we'll set the opposite side of the road. We can probably go a little shy here. And just have a nice row. Oof. Oof. Okay, demolish that. Okay, October, the winter has come. Bring this down just a smidge. Let's see how deep it needs to go just for very smallest of backyard extensions. We're going to be very careful about this since the space is limited. Okay. Turn off snapping just for that. Okay. Yeah. 3 and 3, not bad. And just the smallest amount possible. There. And our final, we'll kind of go into the corner. double-sized plot. That's great. Set up here. Yep, that's a 3. We set up in the corner here. No backyard extension, but it does give us the option for some property, so we'll go there. Leuter Flucht has received a new family. We're up to 7. Excellent. So they should be working pretty well on our new logging camp. We're going to put a saw pit and set some limits. So 20 timber, and we'll say 120 planks. We got 3 available living spaces, but plenty to put in a few down here to run some of this. We're gonna use double Burgage plots there. 1, 2, 3, 4. So 3, 4, and probably another couple of doubles. Not quite the that'll be a 5, so 4, 7 total. That's 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. That'll be fine. Have the one family. We do know we want to put in a forester's hut as well. We can just have that tucked in back here. Okay, cool. So, that'll be a nice production area. Good positive approval rating. Homelessness is no longer a factor. We have folks that are living here. We've got a vegetable plot set up. Of course, we lose our trees, which is unfortunate. I'm going to go ahead and demolish this camp. They should be okay to manage with what we've got. We've got our marketplace. We've got our granary. Put one person in the hunting camp to keep our food going. And our fuel is running low on charcoal, so we'll pull a person out and put them into the woodcutter's lodge. Okay. Additional villagers probably want someplace to stay. Now we know can't really go on the close side there. We will have, I'll probably take this road. Continue it down here into, you know, the rock quarry. Keep it up on the flat side. That'll be great. Kind of bounding the shoal of fish. Okay. Plenty of available living spaces to move into. Used up all of our timber, though. So we'll let them manage in Leuter Flucht. Burlhart, haven't quite developed into. And here, a lot of development going on. Okay. More chicken coops. And as far as our food, we do see we got good amount of eggs, apples, a good surplus, some meat, and vegetables. So we got 4 types of food. That's all excellent. And we can assign that next family into something useful now the construction is done. We'll develop iron ore, iron slabs. Things looking great there. We will set up for the mining pit. We'll collect all the clay we can. Be prepared to pull that out. Okay. Leonic, new family's moving in. Okay, so they'll manage. Looking at production, yep. Enough spears. We're now over capacity. Missing people. Crossbows, we're almost there. I'm gonna wait until we start getting the next set of crossbowmen, because we already have enough spear militia. We just gotta probably split the ranged attackers. Okay. Wonderful. So we'll get mining up here. Annex, storehouse, exposed goods. Ooh. Okay, 2 available living spaces. I'm gonna say this area down here. We got our storehouse, our saw pit. Fishing post. Let's go ahead and get another ox. And look at that. We're at 1,000 regional wealth. So we can afford to start importing some stuff. But realistically, what we want, we're at 55% approval. Yeah. I think if we go bring in some livestock. Alright, we hadn't done that yet. Now, this sheep breeding perk is one of the most ridiculous, I think, because if you put a couple of sheep out there, they're going to figure out what they need to do, right? It's not a secret at all. But you have to spend points so that your sheep actually know how to do it. I would say it should make more sense, like the policies here, where your animals breed faster, right? You could do faster sheep breeding with a perk, but unfortunately, that's not the thing. Better deals, you know, that's all out there. The basic armor making, yeah, provides helmets. That's probably what we may end up speccing into, rather than food varieties there. Because we have 1, maybe 2. And then we'd miss out on some food options, but armor making in here would be good. Okay, Burgage plots being constructed. We're at 11 months of food, 14 months of fuel. Some families are already moving in. Let's go set them up for logging. Get these logging camps some action. Plenty of additional folks. And that's really going to help with our planks. The storehouse, we need 16 planks. If I can get 1 additional, yeah, kind of the large storehouse here that needs some capacity. Also, I don't know what they're doing with iron ore, iron slabs over here. We're going to turn those off. Iron parts, any of our commodities, and that stuff we'll manage. Okay. Level 2. Looking for those upgrades. We'll manage all that. Got all of our folks assigned. Okay. Leuter Flucht. 3 unassigned families. Not bad. We go ahead and put 1 in the charcoal kiln, because that's what we're working through. And we'll start the forester's hut going. Yeah. Plenty of firewood, actually. We'll pull these folks down. Nice living setup. Okay. 20 planks, and they'll start working on timber. We have our storehouse. We'll put 1 person in. Okay. And we'll just set these. We're gonna leave all the timber and stuff so far. Don't over construct as we get started. Okay. So we are developing our militia. An amount of spears and shields. We'll call it a new spear militia. And I'll just kind of balance 16, 16, and 8. We need to manage that. Good amount of shielding there, so they'll be happy. And then once we get up to crossbow surplus, we'll manage there. Okay, we see we got some Burgage plots that are in need of... Now these are all ready for level 2 upgrades. We can set them all up with chicken coops. That's going to get into our planks. Don't necessarily want to commit that. Based on our food, right? We got eggs. We do see a surplus there. Vegetables are coming down a little bit. And meat is pretty low. We may actually just give these the upgrades. Now we're going to start working on some of our higher level production. Might have artisans along this side. Ones that we know we're going to need doubles of everything. Alright. And go ahead and assign people to our forester's hut there. And we'll go construct a new forester's hut down here. Just so that we can be constantly replenishing whatever our supply ends up needing to be. Okay. The storehouse was a little overfull. Let's upgrade that. We see our granary. We need additional people there. Storehouse is pretty close. Okay. 9 months of food, 13 months of fuel. Leuter Flucht is only 4 months of food. Well, let's get some people set up. We got a vegetable garden there. Probably need to maybe set up a mirror of this. Whoever is going to be running the charcoal area, right? They'd want that. And we can set a large vegetable plot in here. Let's see, we're 21 timber. Right here. Just deep enough, we'll get 3 kind of freebies there. We'll get... Is that enough for a double wide? Not quite. Here, that is. Okay. And setting across like that. If we do, yeah, 4 wides, that's great. Now, doing one that kind of snaps into the corner. And we can reduce that to a single. And we'll prioritize this. Now we got a nice road with some folks that live there. We can build out like a tavern and a marketplace. I want to keep some of these trees here as a bit of a natural break. Don't want to commit these guys to anything too crazy yet. I think we'll probably do animal pens and have this region focus on like sheep breeding. Okay, storehouse is full. Let's go ahead and yeah, we can upgrade each of these. They cost us our timber, but makes the most sense. Animal stable space. We'll upgrade the stables at least. Those are less costly. Make sure we got that all set. And we're looking good as far as our armaments. We're finally up for spears. More than we need. Let's set our production focus now back to iron parts. Okay. So we see we got our level 2 where folks are living. Have moved in. We're going to upgrade everything that's in progress. I'm going to set this mining pit as a highest priority. Have our large storehouse. That's looking good there. Our manor, the blacksmith, bowyer, joiner, and other blacksmith. Both blacksmith shops now are doing the iron parts, since those 1 iron slab produces 2 iron parts, and we can then trade those out under our crafting materials. Those trade for 6 gold each. So really great. We're building up a surplus of regional wealth, and let's just see. I only got 1 person there, but I've got 2 horses, so we'll start trading, and now we've already got an excess of iron parts, so that's great. Iron slabs we're out of, but we have iron ore we're out of, so we're working through that as quick as we get it. I'll pull 1 person off the bloomery and put them in the mining pit. So just managing the balance between iron ore, iron slabs. With a surplus of iron slabs, we're doing fine. I might put a second person out. And just let the town grow, continue to upgrade into those, the bloomery and such. What do we have a good surplus of right now that's going to help with our level 2 burgage plots? Well, obviously the church level will need to get that with the mine. Clothing, with shoes, clothes, and cloaks. We have some leather being produced from our hunting camp. Be able to import that as well. We might actually think about getting a bumper crop of lambs. Get some sheep that we can shear for wool. That could be one option. I know we're probably not going to have anything great for flax. There's a few areas where emmer might be great, but not enough to really focus on farming. So linen and such for those. We could set up a tailor shop or a cobbler shop. A tailor is going to need wool, linen, or I think just wool, linen, maybe dyes, all things that we would have to import. We could do a cobbler shop, so just convert leather into shoes, and that might be a great option here. But look, I've got 5 tools. We could export those or generate them at our blacksmith. Let's go for a cobbler shop. Clothes, cloaks, and gambesons at the tailor. I don't think that's going to work out very well. We can put the cobbler shop to use. Okay. Granary is looking low on capacity. We'll pull one person off this logging camp. Keep that going so they'll be able to manage. Okay. Just continuing that development. Okay. One person. We've got 9 available living spaces, so plenty. And we'll set that as the highest priority, which it is. Could continue to be. And Leuter Flucht, we have our construction finished there. We'll get a vegetable garden, and that's one of 2 available living spaces. And what are we looking at? Food, 8 months, 13 months of fuel. We got 2 people assigned on the shoal of fish. And some meat being produced as well. Let's go ahead. The granary capacity needs another person. We'll assign there. And yeah. We can put one more person in. I think we'll start with the forester's hut. 2 available living spaces, and that will just kind of force them to work through what we got. A well we can place here, probably along the roadway. Go there. Do I have a well up here? I did place one. It's right there. Looking good. Hey. Now, let's start looking at our mining options. So, now this little region up here, plenty of planks to do it. So let's get mining pit down, and I'm gonna do 2 just right at the edge of where it says no deposit in range. Place that. We'll get a road heading down this direction. That's fine. And we'll place that one right there. So both in there, and we're going to set up a clay furnace right next to, and we'll leave kind of we'll keep some space open. We'll see the storehouse right across from it. That'll manage that, and yeah, we'll let this run for a bit. Okay. And connecting across to the King's Road. Kind of a more natural process there. Yeah. So, from here, that road we'll leave some space. Probably have a couple of burgage plots along here that are helping support this industry. Now we've got 8 available living spaces that are 2 available. Now just 1, but 8 looking for construction. And not quite enough. Did 4 double-sized plots. Might not be bad. Might not be bad. Leaving enough space back there for a second one of those. Okay. Yeah, second storage or more clay furnaces. We just want to have these be a little bit more accessible for folks. That as they're working, they'll be close to their work and be able to do some exports. And then we'll have our trade outpost. Trading post here. It needs 4 timber. Start snapping the grid back on. Kind of considering where it's going to need to be. Makes sense to have it right on the corner. We'll use that once we get up to a point where we need the folks. We need the revenue for it. Okay. Mining pit is ready to go, so we'll go ahead and start pulling that clay deposit. See, another family's moved in. We have a cobbler shop that is working on leather. That's addressing our food shortage. Kind of want to do a brewery shop. So we have a brewery extension we could put in. We don't have a tavern yet. I'm wondering what the best location. That looks like an okay spot for the tavern. That's probably better. If I can do that. And a malt house here. A malt house right behind it. That's wonderful. Okay. And one of these to be the brewers. It might make sense to have it closer here, but honestly, moving up a little bit, it's not bad. Go right here for the brewery. Once we have enough supplies for it. Set the malt house as the highest priority, and let's go ahead and we're going to start bringing in 2,700 regional wealth. I'm going to start importing barley. I want to make sure we have an excess of 50. Establishing a trade route for that, so that's going to be bringing in our ale. Okay, wonderful. Okay. Brewery extension for you. Highest priority for the malt house. No unassigned folks, but we are seeing iron ore, iron slabs. Iron parts are just going crazy. Let's see where we can spare somebody. Firewood and charcoal, we're okay. I think this logging camp will make sense to just demolish. Get that cleared up. Order another ox, and then we're gonna relocate these. Yeah, just enough space, and then that'll free up a couple of extensions, burgage plots we can put in back here, or just leave it available for our foresters. Okay. Wonderful. The family moved in there. They're level 1. Good amount of apples here in June still. And Leuter Flucht. Looking great. Good approval rating. Let's see about getting that church now. At 10 stone. So we'll manage our stonecutter camp. I think it makes sense to have the church maybe up on a hillside or somewhere. It's more majestic. The manor, not quite sure where we would put that. Salt would be good, the clay deposit, and maybe having the manor over this way. I see this being, you know, more trade-centric than other regions, but I do also want to make sure when we go and develop. Alright, trapping and skinning, sheep breeding. The butcher and sheep breeding would be great, although we do also want to do that over in our farming region. Farming, we would need the heavy plow, fertilization, bakeries, orchardry, irrigation, maybe the sheep breeding, or instead of the orchardry, we would have, instead of the sheep breeding, we would have beekeeping over there. So we'd have some orchards, we'd have some fields and stuff, but all future plans. We see we got our living spaces available. There's 2 available living spaces right now. And we're coming up on middle of June. Okay. Getting our stonecutter camp set up. And the other aspect we wanted was to look at the administration, which also requires stone. I wouldn't mind having some living areas around here. I can think you know, from here would be more of like a city block style. We could take a couple across. We'll just put in a little cheater road right there, let that happen. It'll be more organic around the shoal of fish, I think. Our malt house is ready to go, so let's go ahead and get some folks starting on that. So I have malt and get that converted up into ale. Iron ore is doing okay, iron slab, plenty of iron parts, so let's go see what we're gonna need militia-wise. We've got 3, we need a 3rd on the crossbows. Maybe, or we've got spears, shields. Do militia footmen or spearmen? I think I like the spearmen option. Continue to do those instead of our iron parts, because we're just having a hard time exporting that. Our timber and planks are doing okay. I'll actually run some tools. I'll do tools there. And if we set up our trade on tools, they export for how much do they export for? 6 each. That's not bad, but it is half as much as we could get for some of the other stuff. Okay. Hit manage. Leonek doing well. 9 months of fuel, 10 months of food. Where's our fuel at? Charcoal and firewood. So this area back here is doing an okay job supplying, but we're gonna need to diversify there. Our clay is just about done. We set up our industry for clay furnace. We'll just put one temporarily down here. Okay, we see we got some level 1s. The brewery, they should be happy. We've got malt now, and that malt is converting into ale. Okay. That'll keep people going. And we're going to just manage a few of these. Keeping as many planks as possible. We don't need to upgrade anything else yet. We're at 43 level 1, 30 level 2 Burgage plots. Okay. This mining pit has been exhausted, so we'll go ahead and demolish it. They'll pick up the materials there. pull that road back. And set the highest priority there for our clay furnace so that we can work on that. Okay. You see we've got stable space available, so we'll get another ox and just manage that. Keep our oxen coming in. And even though it's August, I'll put somebody in the forester's hut here, balancing out some of that. It's very tempting. We've got a production going that is actually making decent change here. Our armies. We're just about to the point we're going to have excess crossbows. We do have spears and shields, so we could go with a fourth. I think probably a fourth spear militia. So 4 of those, 2 of the crossbow folks. Ranged usually gets pretty well beat out, but okay. There we go. Clay furnace is complete. We'll put 1 person on there. And just looking at what our iron ore versus iron slab, we're at 130. We are going to put 1 person on our tavern. We have our cobbler here, who's working. If we wanted to, we could start importing hides. But those are going to cost us 14 apiece. And let's say we want a surplus of 5. That'll trickle them in. Next step is the wooden church upgrade, which we need 10 roof tiles for. But that will get us up for a level 3. Okay. Mining pit and Leuter Flucht is good to go, so I'm going to go 1, 2. Actually, I'll go 1 and 1. And the clay furnace here will be highest priority. And I'm going to set up a trading post right along the main road here. I don't like the idea of having it angled like that. Right. Yeah. They would definitely come in here, go in any which way they need. Okay, so I have that trading post. Behind it, we would have, obviously, a hitching post. We'd have some storage. We had a granary and a storehouse. We need the stone. That stone camp there. Just put 1 person on it. Okay, 6 available living spaces. Doing okay on all that. Forester's hut working hard. Got our storehouse there. Clay furnace is set. So we'll start with those clay roof tiles, and that's going to help us in a huge way. Nice export society. Eventually, we'll get in there with a storehouse. Things kind of backing this area up. Don't see much food going in and out. I know salt would be part of that export, though. So, maybe something to manage. We'll have a couple of people living near the trade post. We'll have... They probably want to have their livestock just on the opposite side. I'm going to keep this tree area as much as possible. Okay, and just looking at where everybody else is at. We are out of firewood, so we'll make sure we got a firewood person, a charcoal person. We got a forester that's just out there planting away at their heart's content. 1 person off the fisherman's hut. And yeah, they'll start working over here. Yeah, that's alright. You guys over here are good. Got a storehouse that's under construction, needs attention. Got plenty of clay. Let's go get a clay furnace set up and the trading post. We will set. We'll upgrade both of these. Good size. We aren't going to expand the living spaces just yet. But clay coming in, roof tiles also coming in. We'll start putting somebody on trade and exporting those roof tiles to generate some regional wealth and be able to start taxing some people. Residential, the wooden church, we just need a couple more planks. But scoping out areas where a church might look good, you know. Here along the lakeside wouldn't be a terrible spot for it. I think that would make the most sense. Okay. We're looking at 4 available folks now. Let's continue to ramp up. How are we looking on our iron ore? Plenty. Iron slabs, not so plenty. Okay, we'll manage that. We can upgrade our small stone church, which will be great. I'm going to upgrade the tavern preemptively. We've got a bunch of ale, a bunch of malt, and we're not running ourselves dry. That's good. We have plenty of shoes, so that's clothing. That'll be entertainment. That'll be a lot of great stuff. 45 logs, 100 something planks. We can commit a few of these. What did I put? I put an animal pen back there. Oops. We're gonna go demolish that, and we'll put in a chicken coop. Oh, and already a level 2, wanting to get to level 3. Okay. So we'll manage here. 6 months of fuel. Alright, so we're kind of running low on firewood. We'll manage. Get that set up. There's a storehouse that was completed over here. That's great. The trade post completed. So we're gonna... Oh. What can we trade for free right now? If I export fish with a desired surplus of 30. Alright, that should be good. We can export clay for 1 credit. That's not even worth it. Firewood. Charcoal, not even sure what that's going to export for. We want to keep our tools. Okay. Yeah, that's a bummer. We can export tools. Let's see, we can export some iron slab if we had an outpost set up. We only have 4 months of food, so we don't necessarily want to trade out all of that. But we need to get some regional wealth. Okay, and while they're doing this, let's just see, we got a wooden church. It would look great right about here. Okay. So, they'll manage that church. We can look at the manor. Start charging some administrative fees. Ooh. I mean, the manor right here wouldn't be terrible. Kind of on the inside track there. A little far from where we've got our big stuff going. You know, we don't necessarily need to be down on this corner. I think this would be a great area to do some additional logging But the manor right above here, and yeah, we'll have the shrine as part of. Nice and picturesque. Right up to the point where it's too steep to build. Probably.
Let's get to work.
Okay, we'll commit that. Okay. Cool. So they'll be able to get some level 2 stuff. We'll start taxing them once we are generating some revenue. And yeah. Saw pit is full. Okay, well, you know, that's a risk. Glad it's happening now. Let's make sure we put one more person on that forester's hut. One person on this storehouse. This is going to be specifically roof tiles and clay. Nothing else here. Just clay, just roof tiles. Are looking on those. Bunch of clay. An okay supply of roof tiles now, and we can manage through that. Okay, we got one person on the trade. We'll put 2 people. We can export our stone. That'll be cheap. What we're looking at here, barley is undersupplied, so it's going for a little bit more.
Summer's coming soon. And soon the beating sun.
We could export hides. That would be great. We want a desired surplus of 20. We gotten those built up, and that should help. Turn off the food. Let them focus on a few things there. But hides should be good. We're importing hides from the other region, so it might be a smaller amount we get from regional wealth. Small stone church is good. These guys want clothing, so that's your tannery. Set it up right next to. So our granary supply needs a 3rd person working it. And let's just go ahead and upgrade that to a large granary. And upgrade this to a large storehouse. For most of our planks. Oh, that stone church was here. In Leonic. Alright, so we have some level 2 that's ready to go to level 3. Tavern. Oh. And we have raiders coming in. I'm gonna set this a little high. Got 135 ale. A couple more people assigned there, but there are raiders coming in. That's 18, 18, 18, 18. I am actually, with the amount I've been taxing my treasury, I haven't even noticed this, but we've got a pretty good surplus in our treasury. I may not even need to break out my own militia. We'll see what we can hire. So Altbrook, and Leuter Flucht, which doesn't help us. Altbrook way up here. Leuter Flucht is probably going to come north. So we'll rally our folks. Number 1, the retinue. I'm going to customize. I'm going to hire the remaining folks we can get. I'm going to upgrade all of their armor before we get in. These guys will just be an unstoppable force. Okay. Okay. Making sure everybody... So as we select, we can upgrade the armor to import. It costs 34 treasury to do that. You could upgrade from local, which is 17 credits that go to the local armory. We don't have that, which, you know, is unfortunate. So we'll go there, still with 1100 treasury left behind us. So we're going to go ahead and rally our whole militia. All right, we got 16s, and then we'll have these guys rally here. So 1, 2, have them double range, and then 3. Okay. So we'll get all of our folks rallied. Make sure they're not running. We want them to just be casual about their approach. But they should all be pouring out, ready to defend our settlement. Okay. And once again, good news, the Baron will not be able to claim any influence off of this. See them just coming kind of in and out. Okay. So we'll start crushing in. Okay. Moving these guys back a little bit. Okay. Still fighting in here. Probably lost a few there. But, alright. Good, good. Go ahead and let everybody... we're going to put them on stand their ground. We're going to disband the units. We lost a few. I think there were 17, 16s. I don't think we lost any crossbowmen. We do have one person assigned at the church. They'll be burying folks. And we see we've got level 3... coming in on a handful of these. So let's go ahead. We've got 3 Burgage plus. We need to get up to level 3. We have plenty of planks, timber, and regional wealth to manage this. I think we go 1, 2, and 3. And that will set the stage for our next development point, which I think we're going to go ahead and get the better deals. Import, or we could switch over and run the deep mining. Probably... yeah. Probably looking okay there. For our military strength, yeah, alright. We need some more spears, large shields. They're producing iron parts. Let's do, yeah, our spears here. The bowyer. Doing those crossbows as we need. Large shields. 96. If we disband one of those, go for 3, should be okay. So 3 ranged, 3 melee, and my retinue. One aspect that we can do right now is we can actually increase our retinue size, which will be great. We'll have a garrison tower that will make up a critical part of our military strength. We can set it right there on the outskirts. We could commit just like that, but I also want to put up some outer towers around the area here. So, just ensuring that we have a defensive wall that is kind of keeping our assets protected here. And we'll start putting some outer towers down. To make sure it's protected against the front. We'll go ahead and put an outer tower. Actually, that's about as much as we can commit to right now. We see we got timber and planks that it's gonna occupy. We'll commit that. And they'll start building. We'll be able to build some additional towers around the outside and then fence the whole area in. That's gonna be a lot of planks that it takes up. As we see. Doing okay over here. That stone is now exhausted. Gonna demolish here. And hey, just in time to see our first regional wealth come in. Let's see if that's enough to afford ourselves the roof tiles. No, we need more. Okay, that blacksmith. I want to set the Burgage plots here also. But we have our garrison tower. Now if we look at our retinue, customize, we can increase that up to 24 now. And we're going to go ahead and upgrade each of these guys. We will have a fully outfitted, geared to the max. They will be just fine. Okay. You can also go personalize, you know, their armory if you had a specific look you wanted for your folks. But yeah, you could. It's as much time as you'd like to spend. Each of them has a backstory. So yeah, Linhart takes bets on the outcome of battles. All right. Has a scar on his bottom that he claims was inflicted by a dragon. Loves getting into arguments with priests. All right. So with that, we have a pretty awesome retinue that should be able to manage very effectively. Okay, all the level 2 stuff. We got a third one about done. Okay, settlement level increased. So number 1, we can do deep mining or we can keep doing the better deals. That better deals is going to be good for us. But I know deep mining is a priority right now. So, we'll upgrade that on both. How are we looking? We've got iron ore, iron slabs, plenty of malt. Hides and leather are being converted into shoes. We've got ale that's going well as well. The brewery, we can get that to level 3. And let's just make sure all of the other level 2s, we don't want to go too crazy with it, since we are resource limited. Alright. We'll go ahead and expand some of the living spaces here. Get the second homes on each of those. Leonic is constructing. I'll have another retinue ready to go with this manor being complete. And since I liked the way it looks down here, I'll go ahead and set a little shrine right below the manor. Wonderful. Okay. We have our shoal of fish is growing. Assigning another one there. We've got 5 months of food. These folks really need some way to get some additional food, and that's going to happen right now because we have enough regional wealth. First of all, establish a trade route for roof tiles. Okay, and we can export those for 8. We want a desired surplus of 20. That's gonna be great. That'll be huge for us. That will also enable us to bring in some additional food. So we got vegetables. We could try and do berries, apples, any of those. We're gonna wait on that. I'm gonna get a horse and get that assigned here. That'll help with our trade, allowing us to increase from like 10 goods per trip to 50 goods per trip, decreasing journey time for traders. So we'll manage with that. Be a great way to go. And obviously, we've got clay aplenty, we've got roof tiles aplenty, and we'll just keep ramping that production up. I'll set taxation over here to 5%. We don't need to worry about influence. We have enough influence to start pressing a claim over there, but we won't worry too much about it, and we're not going to settle for a bit. So what I'm going to do is I have another retinue. I'm going to customize this one. I'm going to just I can get 7 more men-at-arms. I don't have the funds for all of them, but we'll go ahead and recruit up to that. Got those guys set. Trade is going. We have 1 available living space, 2 under construction. So the priority is going to be expanding the living space over here. And I want to make sure whoever is in here is living nearby. And let's go ahead and we'll connect the roads across. I think it would be advantageous to have another road coming in this way. Okay, and we'll have this one coming along the side of this plot. Okay. Expose goods. Okay. Great on capacity for people. People doing their thing. And we'll wait for that regional wealth and start probably doing meat here. If I'm going to be honest, it would make sense to do the better deals. Sheep breeding. I'm going to do deep mining, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6-ish. Yeah, we're gonna do skinning, I think, and sheep breeding here. We might not do the better deals, so we'll keep the trade logistics for the main region. Have them be an importer that just offloads stuff. Okay, 42. Love to see that. 1 available living space procured. Plenty of clay, so I'm going to put 1 more person on a clay furnace. It's good to go. And if we have the option, we'll get 1 more horse that can really manage that wealth. Okay. On the upswing for living spaces, so no concerns there. A little bit of space by the wooden church here. I think our oxen are a limiter right now. Order a new horse. We'll upgrade these. Put 1 more person to logging. 2 people available for other stuff. And I know we're going to need some more stable space, so I'll put 2 oxen just on that side. 2 hitching posts. That'll be great. And Manage there with a road, kind of a crossways. Let folks come back and forth as they wish. Trade here. Okay. And good to go. Leuter Flucht is looking like we're getting some positive regional wealth growth. We need 2 level 2 Burgage plots. And that requires our tannery. Start converting some of those hides. Okay. Well, we can. Let's see. We can put in a garrison tower with 15 planks. So that won't be quite yet, but we can look at. Yeah, there's 2 families that reside there. Taxes just 5%. Only 3 months of food. So let's go ahead and get... We need planks for the chicken coops. That's a bummer. It's a bummer. But we can send some food from Lanek. We have 7 available living spaces, 6 unassigned. So let's go manage that. Are we doing on our food and fuel both at 8 months? We got charcoal and firewood roaring by. I think it makes sense. We'll start up another firewood collector. Get a charcoal kiln down here. And the woodcutter's lodge right across from it. Okay, all of these Burgage plots. Yeah, we're gonna go chicken coops. Keep that passive supply going. Cobbler shop. Keep these for artisan shops, but make sure they're each upgraded. Got our brewery that's going. See barley, a good amount of malt, a lot of ale. I will upgrade that living space to get another person in there. Here, same with this one, level 2. We want them to be in. Armorer's Workshop would be like primo, get our militias all outfitted. But, alas. Go ahead and get the last of our 12 there. Hey, so, as just kind of a recap on where we're at. Coming up on August of year 5, we'll start seeing we got 8 months of food, 9 months of fuel. We got vegetables, eggs, fish for this region. We're going to start seeing apples, but realistically, oh, yeah. The trees are starting to mature, but it's not guaranteed. We're going to have... I actually probably want to take some of this region and put some more orchards there. So I'm going to turn off this forester's hut. Let this logging camp go. And just focus on this area here. So we'll put a couple of orchards down this direction. We've got our logging forestry industry here. It'll be tough to manage the size of population we need within our current limitations, but the fact is we've got a surplus of vegetables. Eggs and fish are doing well, so that's 3 food varieties. And we're getting some meat here and there. We're gonna ramp that up with some additional production in the future. And yeah. Got our garrison tower. Things are looking good. And Leonic taxation is a negative factor, but we're still maintaining decent surplus. As far as our commodities, iron ore, iron slabs, we are really well set. Fuel, we're going to put some more people on our charcoal kiln to make sure that's good. And of course, granary and storehouse capacities are struggling. So we'll... Nope. Manage here. Granary, and this granary here. Our storehouse capacities. Just about capped out. Okay. So we'll have some additional granary work going. Down to 706. So some of those imports hurting us, but we see a lot of folks waiting. We got 5 upgrades to level 2 that we are available. We'll upgrade each of the vegetable plots. Those will get to level 3. Really putting in the hard work for us. These guys, they need linen, leather, yarn, and then our clothing. So, one way we could do that, if we set up a mini marketplace here. Let's just call it. Go on this corner. Might do an orchard back this way. 1 or 2. So a little mini market on this corner wouldn't be bad. 23 stall locations. Good. And we're going to put a pack station in here right by the manor. Now, the purpose of this pack station will be just to allow us to send and receive goods on a barter connection. So, yeah, bartering, not a problem there. So the earliest homes, we're going to go ahead and let these upgrade to level 3. We don't have any more clay, we don't have any more roof tiles, so that clay furnace we can go ahead and demolish. And on our trade here, we can import roof tiles. Surplus of 10. Go ahead and yeah, we can buy them for 8. It's coming in from the other region. At least it should. I might have to establish a trade route for it. But yeah. We good? Livestock, we got our 2 horses, we got 2 people running that. Spears and large shields we have an abundance of. So we could also look at setting up trade routes once we have the effective amount. Got our retinues, we got our spear militia, crossbow militia, we're just missing people. That's it. And we're up at 80% positive approval rating. So we should see growth at about 2 families per month. There's 10 available living spaces, with plenty of opportunity here. 9 months of food, 10 months of fuel. Here in Leuter Flucht, only 2 months of food, 9 months of fuel, but we've got some like regional wealth to spend into. So let's get that going. We're going to go with animal pens here, because I think we are going to do sheep breeding and some of the other perks for that. So we'll set these as many as we can. Okay. And we'll buy up as many of those animals. They're about 20 per. Got got 6 available living spaces. Alright. 5 available folks. So we put somebody in that tannery. And we're going to set this woodcutter's lodge to run kind of this area here. We are good with 60 months of fuel. 2 months of food is going to be rough on us. So... let's not export hides. We'll keep what we've got. We have the tannery going. Okay, we've got food options now. We have some vegetables. Not a lot of other stuff. Importing at 12 to 13. We can import meat. And let's say our desired surplus will be like 10. Might get a little expensive. But that should help with our food situation. Okay, all these Burgage plots are getting set. So we're gonna go, we can do pigs or goats. I'm gonna go with pigs, just since that will be a good amount of meat production. As we get into it, running a sheep farm will actually create some good opportunities yeah, for hides on a regular basis. That should meet our needs. But these pigs, it's 2 meat every 150 days. So, you know, 2 meat per year. Not bad. Or 4 meat per year per family. Okay. Construction finished. We're up at 7. We have 3 more that need to get level 2. And I think that's just a regional wealth limitation. Our trading, yeah. We're importing hides pretty expensively. So let's pull that back. We are looking at an excess of iron parts now. We can export ale. We can export shoes. I think those are all going to require some. Ales actually go, and shoes actually will. So for shoes, call that 20. Ale, we'll call that 50. Those are major trades, which is unfortunate. Construction-wise, we're okay. Barley, we're still importing, pulling it in for 13 each. We may need to address that. We have vegetables and eggs that are only going to export for 2. We have iron ore. It's a minor trade. We could... just to diversify. Iron ore only goes for 3, but if we are currently at an excess, let's call it 350. That will help. Iron slabs could also export if we have a surplus. Again, here, 350. Put no trade on the iron ore. We'll do iron slabs for 4, just so we can get the extra gold per unit. Using our folks. Exporting iron parts. It's oversupplied, and that's why. So we're going to do no trade there, and we're going to export tools for 6. So make sure you guys, we got spears. You guys will go tools. Okay. The bowyer's shop. We're looking at excess of crossbows as well, so that's part of the problem. Our regional wealth has not been flourishing as much, mostly because, yeah, we're oversupplying on some of our resources. We need 3 more level 2 Burgage plots, or level 3. That's going to be 25 regional wealth, 3 timber, 12 planks, 4 roof tiles. So we should be okay. We'll have 1 and 2 right off the bat. The next one, we're going to just have to wait for roof tiles to come in. That should be happy. Happy to manage. Okay, and we have 5 available living spaces with 3 under construction. Mostly right here, I think. Okay. And just the balance. Balance, we've got a strike. I would love to have these apple orchards now that they're mature. If we can get these to level up to 3, but right now there's not great supply and demand here. We'll plug this away. Upgrade that to a large granary. I'll put some food over here. Yeah, and see, not enough regional wealth. They just need to bring in the remaining pieces. Okay. And things are looking up. Well, they were. So we traded iron parts and spent it on barley. Okay, Leonic at 9 of 10. One more. New family's moving in. That's awesome. These guys, how are we doing? 1 month of food. Beef. That's rough. Okay, we got our goats everywhere we have them. Animal pens. We've got plenty of planks. Plenty of other stuff happening over here. 386 regional wealth. 7 unassigned families. So I'm going to go ahead and start moving people more into our clay. We have plenty of excess there. I'm going to set up a second clay furnace. Right next to the first. And then these. You know, I will... There's a passive yield of eggs. You can do goats or pigs. We need a really large vegetable garden. So I'm going to set one of my keyhole plots up. Left some space over here. There's 3 available living space. If I went something like this. Yeah. I don't even know where the line for that one is. Just be an interesting shape. Highest priority. Okay. Only 1 month of food, so that's going to be critical for us. Families should not go hungry, so we're going to work on this. Trading. We're importing meat at a premium. We can import bread. No, bread's 14. We can import vegetables with a desired surplus there of 50. We can import eggs with a desired surplus of 50. So that's going to be kind of expensive. We'll see what we're able to do with this. Okay. Putting 2 more people on the trade. Should work out. And we'll let a couple of vegetable gardens come in. I do think we want to put maybe 1 or 2 more back this way. Might make sense. Something to manage around. They look pretty good, it's just, yeah. Large granary is finished. Our granary, we're gonna get the storehouse capacity. Make sure that's all set. Good supply of everything. We're at 9 of 10. Just the regional wealth now. As soon as we can, we'll get that, and we'll go for trade deals since we already have part of it explored. Okay, clay furnace. So that should, I mean, we're running out of food. That is tough. Hopefully our traders get things going. Seasonal fish. Wild animals that aren't, like, great. We'll start getting the meat production. Guys, level 2 is all we need. Go ahead and get a couple level 2s upgraded. And that will increase into one of our development points. But yeah, I think the sheep breeding, trapping and skinning, those will all be kind of big priorities over here. Okay. Sadly, food is on the low side of things. We're importing some. But not just... I could probably bring my reserve. If we take it down to 5, that will help. Shoal of fish. Put 3 people in there. Okay. And Leonic, doing okay. Just spending ourselves silly, though. One last point. Okay. So as we laid out the last bit here, we're going to go ahead and put 2 people in the woodcutter's lodge, 2 people in the charcoal kiln. That will address our fuel. We should be able to manage that indefinitely. Okay. Spending just about everything we got. What is that coming in as? We have a bunch of malt, though. So let's just bring our barley imports. We're going to bring that down to 5. Slow that down a bit. Commodities. We don't have the funds to export there. Leuter Flucht, we are good here. 169. Okay. We do trapping, so a passive income of meat. We'll run for that development point, and then we can do meat from butchers, backyard animal pens. Doubles the amount of meat produced. And we'll run with that. Okay. What do we need? 3 more upgrades. Go ahead and get 1, 2, 3. That should be just the bare minimum we need to upgrade here. We're 2 available living spaces. We do have some extra lots. There we go. Some small vegetables being added to the mix. I'll put 1. About here. That would be a ridiculously large vegetable garden. Right? I don't think we want to do that much. We could probably split it in half, though. So let's do that. Next one in, big vegetable garden will keep us in carrots for an age and a half. And yeah, it'll be a nice setup there. We'll set that as the highest priority. Okay, Leuter Flucht. New people moving in. Okay, we're getting an excess of food now. I want to take this hunting camp. And we're okay. Doing alright. So, I'd also check out what we would need to do here. More of a city block type. Just like that. Boom. 7. You could go for 6. Or even 5 with the double-sized plots. I want to go 7, so we'll have 7 backyard plots there. And, yeah. Not deep enough for the backyard extension, sadly. Go there. We should be alright, though. That needs what? 14? Almost there. Just build in the suburbs. And just like that. Okay. Plenty of space to have folks moving in. Okay. Cool. And we'll go ahead and set a vegetable garden here. If that vegetable garden's good, we'll get another person, expand that living space. We'll keep that road where it's at. Decide where it makes sense to have maybe a couple of homes and then a backyard plot. Okay. 618 regional wealth here. They're looking really good. Clay tiles going. And we have a couple of Burgage plots under construction, so that'll manage here pretty well. 5 and 85 planks, so really good. We wanted a garrison tower. Wait till we get 10. I'm just about there. Looking good over here. I do think we'd have some development start from here off to the side roads, kind of expanding around the shoal of fish. We got 3 people fishing it, so they should be taking up everything possible. Hopefully building up a good surplus. And with the garrison tower, where would we want to put that? It's too far from other modules there. We could just set it right on the... right on that. The tax office. We won't commit to that yet, but get a garrison tower going. Get a majestic. We have 3 unassigned folks. We're doing just fine there. And we'll do animal pens on each of these. So this will be our meat producing area. We've got eggs from the other region. Everybody should have their backyard plots. Okay. Expanded goats in place. We'll expand this. Another ox. Just confirming where everything's at. Wonderful. Okay. Animal pens here. Just really maximizing what we've got available in this region. Okay. Pigs, pigs, and pigs. Everybody's getting pigs. And we got vegetables going. That's going to be better food production here. We got 7 months of food, 17 months of fuel. So our fuel production is looking great. We got 50 planks, 3 timber. So we could probably put more folks on the timber logging camp portion. Let them do their thing. We see over this way would probably be a good opportunity. We know we've got trade going and 1,000 regional wealth. We're doing just fine. Garrison tower is nearly done. And that's going to be important for our retinue, which we should be able to now increase to 24. So with 12, we're a little shy on the funding. We need to get the 600. We have our royal tax, 359, due in 255 days. Okay. Well, let's go ahead. We got our forester's hut. We got our woodcutter's lodge. Let's put these guys together. Plenty of charcoal, firewood. Make sure that our manor is the highest priority construction. And we'll start working on the salt deposit here shortly after that. Again, we're going to be meat-heavy region here. No deposit in range. Okay. One on either side. Works just perfect. We really don't need to do anything much more there. 13 available living spaces. Leonek, we're good. We've got our regional wealth is back up, so let's go ahead. We got one more Burgage plot to upgrade. 5 available living spaces. Actually, no more available living spaces, but that's being constructed. Granary and storehouse are looking good. All these folks are good. As we upgrade these to level 2, that will generate some additional living space to fill. We can also focus on this road. Leonek has upgraded. Okay. Go just as deep as we need to go for the backyard extension plots. Okay. And 4 more up to level 2. That's what we need. There. What do they need? They need roof tiles. Okay. So, one thing that's killing us right now is our imports. We already have the better trade deals. We can do the better deals to reduce the foreign import fees by 5. Okay, so that's going to make everything a little bit more affordable to import, especially for those unique items. If we do sheep breeding, right? But now there's basic armor making that allows us to get helmets, which would be great. So 1, 2, 3, 4. We only have 2 points we can spend. So I can do armor making and better deals. We do armor making and another food variety like the apiaries. I could do sheep breeding, but we don't have a whole lot of space for that. So right now we're probably not. We're going to rule out sheep breeding for now. That advanced pawn keeping will keep us in pretty good fishing for the duration. We've already got our deep mine. I think pawn keeping and maybe the basic armor making, we can do a blacksmith that crafts those helmets, and that will help our that will actually help our militia. I think we're gonna go for that. Get helmets going. And now let's see here. Yeah. If we have one of these, we could then convert. An armorer's workshop. So, we'll run that right there. So we've got our brewery, our armorer's workshop, our cobbler. That would be actually in pretty good shape. The helmets we produce as we see, we roll over these. Our militia, it's something they'll be able to use, as well as gambesons and chainmail. But yeah, we'll be in decent shape. A bunch of iron ore, iron slabs. We're producing pretty quickly. We want to make sure we get level 2 upgrades everywhere we can. And just commit those across the board. Okay. That's good. We have 1 available living space, 7 under construction. Okay. We have that group there. Kind of the burbs, right?
You'll not find finer wares anywhere else. Come one, come all. Feast your eyes. You'll not find
And if we
finer
go the
wares
same route
anywhere
back
else.
here, just right past that snapping point. Okay. Snap
Cheated him?
there.
Never. Perhaps he simply does not know how to cook properly. You'll not find finer wares anywhere else.
Set up just like that, and then we're going to rotate
Poor quality.
so that we'll be backed up to each other. And cutting across. Just like that. You can look here, probably a nice crossroad, makes sense. A little bit further, pull that in right there. Wonderful, so we've got 13, 14 or so available living spaces in this kind of suburb region. We can put in additional, you know, if we wanted to do something cosmetic with it.
Come on, laddie. Come on.
Our supply and demand at the tavern is good. We have... Alright. 1, 2. Those roof tiles are going to be the killer for us. 13 or so. Okay, out here, much better for food. Fuel at 17 months, so things are all good to go. Okay, we'll get you guys pigs. 1 more Burgage plot to level 2. For the next upgrade point. We have a good amount of regional wealth right now. So, I think what we might end up working through is... Yeah, we got our armor shop there. Okay, perfect. So we're gonna have helms. Working on helms. Okay. And that's gonna just take from our current iron slab inventory, which we have an excess of. The blacksmiths aren't keeping up right now. 5 unassigned families. So we'll go make sure we got trade going. We might put a second trade post. Fuel 19. Food 5 months. Okay. Eggs, fish. We'll manage here. We have a pack station. So we have that available just in case. 27 timber, 15 planks. That'll be fine. That'll be fine. We're going to put a couple of more orchards here, using up some of this space. And we have that one final development point. I think I'm going to like the apiary. Just since the fish, you know, while we can double the capacity, I don't know how much we can collect from an apiary. One or the other. 2, 3. Yep. Some tough choices. As you develop further, you know, you gotta make those decisions. We see we've got some salt coming in, so go put 1 on each of those folks. And we'll probably have our livestock situation up here. Get a whole herd of sheep going. And let's look at trade. We're going to do a livestock trading post. I'll put them right here. I assume they would be on the northern side of things. Right, and farming. Actually, you know what? We'll keep them near civilization. Nice. On our trade, our livestock trading post. Right across from the Baron, the manor here. That makes sense. We would have our sheep farm tucked up right there. We would have a weaver's workshop right next to that. We would have livestock trading post beyond there, and then we would have pasture space. A ridiculous amount of pasture space. 114 sheep. Just for there. We'll start with that. Okay. Level 1 Burgage plots all coming in. Looking wonderful, by the way. Yeah. Leuter Flucht settlement is up. We have two Burgage plots in need here. What are we missing? We're missing planks. All right. 10 available living space, 3 committed. Okay. Royal taxes increased. And just like that, we should be able to get that final development point. And we are cranking. So we see gnomes are being produced and used for our militia. If I just rally these guys, let's see what that looks like. Okay. So their armor 5, shield 8. Probably okay. Everybody's got the helms, so that should help them be a little bit more effective. And we got 4 available people unassigned right now. Let's see, granary is just about in need. Two unassigned folks. Go 1 and 2. Actually, pull that back. Okay. Now, let's get our retinue. We'll get the remainder of our men-at-arms all there, and then we can go through and start working on upgrading them. We're going to have a 3rd region. We want to have all 3 retinues maxed out when it comes time to fight the Baron. But out of funding there. So, manage through that. Okay, Leuter Flucht. They're good. We have our next development point. We can double the amount of meat produced, which I think we could use right now. But if we do sheep breeding, what's the next? Next is level 3 Burgage plots. So, I mean, we're okay as far as trade and regional wealth go. I think sheep breeding is what we're going to go for, because we'll be able to right away get yarn, and then we'll get a tailor that'll manage that. And then once we got a big supply of sheep, then we can start doing the skinning. Enough sheep that they can kind of perpetuate themselves. So this trading post will become a priority. We're mining some salt. And we're going to upgrade here. There's 6 available living spaces. These guys all want their backyard plots, so we'll give them animal pens on each. A very meat-centric region. How are we doing on... They've got clay, roof tiles in abundance. Okay. Yeah, doing okay. We've got salt that's going. Doing just fine on most of this. 14 stable space.
Don't be shy. Good.
So let's get some livestock trading posts built and finished. As soon as that's good to go, we'll start working with our sheep. Okay, Leonic has its settlement level increased. And here it is. We are currently at the large town settlement. That is the last of our development points we're going to be able to spend. And we have to choose wisely. We have some orchards. I'm going to be expanding those out as well. And just really trying to get all of our folks set up for long-term success. So 9 months of food. We do have a huge amount of apples right now, 306. We got eggs and vegetables, and we have some fish that are supplementing that. We have a little bit of meat. I do probably want to go... We're not going to be able to get bread or berries or sausages. Those are going to come from other regions. But I can get honey here, which I would actually be more than satisfied with. We can do a few apiaries right here by the granary and get a couple additional orchards over this way. And right now, it doesn't make any difference if it's by an orchard or, you know, if it has even, you know, kind of that large, you know, kind of foresty area. In the future, there will be patches where this will have a bigger impact. But for Lanik, we're going to go ahead and we're going to go with the beekeeping perk. Since we've proven we can manage our regional wealth pretty effectively. We have options for our armory, everything going there. I think, yeah, it makes the most sense that we would go for an apiary. Do some beekeeping. Now it says it can sustain up to 2 apiaries by default. There's some complexity behind how those work. But yeah, we can manage very quickly here to get a couple of apiaries in. And I think, yeah, oh, 1 and 2. Just like that, right off the bat. Good to go right next to this granary. And I've got half a mind to put a few more. Not enough goods there. Alright, well, that'll be just fine. We have folks working those apiaries, getting them constructed. Got really great approval rating. And yeah, that's our final development point. We'll try and make sure that we can get a surplus of honey when that's working. And then, of course, we're going to put in a few orchards that will push out further this direction. Let's get the specific areas we want. I'll probably pull in right here. Start doing a few orchards on this side. Apples are really kind of a unique, great way to get things moved. Lanik, people are moving in. We've got 12 available living space. People are happy. I think we're happy with that. The seasonal shoal of fish, that's working. We've got our charcoal kiln. 24 months of fuel. Just doing great there. And yeah, the rest we'll just be developing further, getting our population up to fill out all of our retinues. We are in need of another 50 or so villagers, so there's that. We are producing shields, spears. Those are all things that we can export as well. So if we set up our trade, okay, spears, we're going to export those. We want a surplus of 10. Pay for a major trade route there. Large shields. We can export those. Right, for 6. That's a bit of a waste, so we're going to switch over to doing small shields. I'll buy that export route as well. Similar, 10. It's only 5 gold to export, but realistically, the shields themselves, it's only 1 plank for a small shield. So we'll take our joiner's shop, we'll switch them over to the small shields, and let that roll. Okay. Meanwhile, plenty of iron ore, enough iron slabs to manage. We got our deep mine perk, so it's kind of running indefinitely. We have our livestock trading post now in Leuter Flucht. So let's go ahead and we're going to work on our trade here. We're going to bring in sheep. And I want a surplus of, we'll call it 20. That'll be our bumper crop. And they're going to come in and they're going to start multiplying. They're going to breed. And with the initial, any new lambs we get are going to be our future growth as well. So, how are we doing here? We got 5 months of food, 21 months of fuel. So we're doing okay. Everybody's level 2, needing level 3. I think this is a good opportunity here that we were going to pause the game. I'll bring in 3 people to bring it. Take a brief pause, see where we've developed into for the day, and then of course work on expanding to region number 3 and probably beating the Baron back from his northern control here. With that, I will catch up with you guys on part 3 as we expand into it's the Earlhart and work on our farming industry, as well as some berries and dyes. Make some interesting combinations. So yeah, with that, I will see you guys in the next episode.